Hey everybody, I hope everyone's doing well and you guys had an amazing spring break. So I am out for testing on Tuesday and Thursday this week, and because of that we are not having Class Connects. So this video will replace our live Class Connect session, and also if you need to get a hold of me, you can always call me or email me. So the first thing I want you to do is make sure that you are checking your homepage and you're looking at the announcements. You will see an out of office announcement from me, and in that announcement it'll look like this. Where it says class announcement, it says out of office important announcement. So this tells you how, because I'm at a testing site, we will not have the Class Connects, and I do have the links for the following assignments here, and the video link that I'm recording you right now will be here as well. So all you have to do is click directly on this, and since this is for Tuesday 3/19 and Thursday 3/21, you want to make sure that you do 3/19, 3/20, and 3/21. So you just have two sections where you're going to be learning and reading. So all you have to do is click on it and it will take you directly to the assignment. And then when you go back, you can go to 3/21 7.04 quiz. This is going to be your quiz right here. And then if you, let me just go in my student mode, you click on the quiz, you go directly to the quiz right here, and then you click right here. Then you just click on Start Quiz, and it will bring you to the quiz. So you want to make sure that you get that done. And I will have a Quizlet on there. The flashcards will be the actual questions and answers from the test. So make sure that you are doing or using those to your advantage. So this week, what you're really going to be focusing on is you're going to be learning about cooking temperatures, how to cool food, controlling time and temperature. These are the important factors in Unit 7. So right here you can see these are the slides that we would normally go through. So you have our weekly schedule, what we are doing on 3/18. 3/19, we're reading 7.04, so we're Unit 7. We're almost at the end of all of our content, guys, so it's really important that you're staying on task and you're getting your work done. Our passing rate this week is at 60%, so it did go up, but remember, we do need to be at 90%, so we got a lot of work to do. Your objectives, you need to identify common time and temperature control safety, identify time and temperature control safety when receiving food, when storing food, how to measure food. These are all important. So right here, we have our acronym. This is TCS, time and temperature control and safety. So some foods do need to have temperature controlled within certain time limits in order to be safe. So right here, when we're looking at this picture, we know that milk, flour, it doesn't matter, but milk for sure, because that is refrigerated and it's dairy and it needs to be in the fridge. Right here, which food names, temperature and control for safety. We know that this bird right here, which looks like turkey, it definitely needs to be refrigerated. You cannot leave that out. Just like these eggs right here, right? Eggs are considered a poultry item. The bread, you can leave bread out. We always leave bread out. Right here, so we have regular broccoli and we have cooked broccoli, right? So the difference between this is, since this was cooked, we need to have a temperature control for safety for using that one. So then we have all these foods. They need the proper time and temperature to keep them safe. So we have pictures of different types of food that need to be kept safe, because without that, then we're right here where we hit the danger zone. So the danger zone, it goes from 41 degrees to like 135, and during that time, that is when food can grow bacteria, and then it can cause a foodborne illness, and it can make someone really sick and possibly even die from that. which brings us to safe thermometer use, right? So you want to make sure that you're sticking a thermometer into the thickest part of food and taking another reading in order to spot for accuracy, right? And we always want to wash, rinse, and sanitize the thermometer before and after use, and you let it air dry when you dry it. And to check the temperature of food, you place your thermometer, remember we just said in the thickest part. And then right over here, what do you think would be important to note when accepting deliveries? You want to check those temperatures on the foods immediately. Always follow the manufacturer guidelines. The hot food should measure at least 135, and cold food should be received at 41 or below. And then frozen foods should be frozen. You got to reject them if you see fluids, water stained, ice crystals, or frozen liquids. That indicates that they were not at the correct temperature, and that can cause foodborne illness. So we see this meat is received at 50 degrees. This is not safe. It needs to be below 41. And then this is saying, is this food safe to receive? We know it is not, because you see these ice crystals. That means it's freezer burned. It was probably thawed out and then frozen again, or it wasn't at the right temperature. This food is not safe. This is pretty disgusting, actually. This is where we see moldy strawberries. So at what temperature should cold food be stored? At 41 degrees or lower. Remember, that is below that danger zone, right? 41 degrees or lower, guys. These are our cooler rules. What's going on in these examples? Okay, everything's kind of like all out of order over here. It should be organized and labeled. So you need to label and date. Food must be marked with a use by date if it's going to be held for more than 24 hours. Anytime food is taken out of its original container, it must be labeled with the common name of the food. Then we have the other storage tips, first in, first out, right? So you want to check the use by expiration date, store items with earlier use by dates in front of the items with later dates, and then use food stored in front first. So is this being stored properly? No, this is not. This is cottage cheese. It should be at 41 degrees or lower. Now, is this stored properly? No, nothing is dated. Everything's a mess. It's all mixed together. This is horrible. That is a big no. Then is this stored safely? This is not, because we need that date on there. Without a date, it's not going to make a difference, right? So when transporting foods off-site, the label should include the name of the food, a use-by date, and you need to have all your information right here. You should have reheating and service instructions. FIFO stands for first in, first out. And that is it for Tuesday's lesson. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go through Thursday's lesson. So this is controlling time and temperature. So you're going to be identifying acceptable ways to thaw frozen food, how to safely cook in a microwave, cooling food for storage. So 4 acceptable ways to thaw the food is using water. If you keep the food submerged in running water that's 70 degrees or lower, and food that doesn't go above 41 degrees for more than 4 hours, you can store it in a cooler at 41 degrees or lower. Thaw as part of the cooking process in a microwave only if food is then cooked immediately, guys. You can't thaw it in there and then cook it later. So what's the best way to thaw a frozen turkey? The best way to thaw a frozen turkey is in a walk-in cooler or fridge. Controlling time and temperature when cooking, holding, cooling, and reheating. Cooking foods reduce pathogens as long as food reaches a safe internal temperature and stays there for at least 15 seconds. Use the correct equipment to cook food, ovens, grills, and fryers. And then research, what is a safe internal temperature for these foods, right? So this is something that you would go online and you're going to look up the answers and review. And then draw a line from the meat to the pan. Okay, so then this is also something that, like obviously since we're not in a live Class Connect session, you can't do it, but these are internal temperatures that you would review during your asynchronous time when you're learning independently. And then here's a little thing that shows you how you're supposed to cook with a microwave. And then in here it says which picture shows food being prepped safely. So we have this food right here. You can see these are the different containers with the food and they're separating it, correct? So the picture on the left would be the food safety. Then cooling food is a two-step process. When food's not cooled correctly, pathogens can grow. If food does not cool to 70 degrees in 2 hours, it must be reheated above 135 and then cooled again. What is the first step in the cooling process? Cool food from 135 to 41 degrees. Okay, and on this part, it just tells you to like research a little bit more. So you can always go online and research how to cool certain kinds of food. These are different ways to cool food. You can reduce the size of the portions. You can place it in an ice bath. You can also stir it with an ice paddle or add ice to it or use a blast chiller. This is not good. Don't just put a really hot aluminum pot in a fridge. That is not good. And then you're just leaving this pot on the counter as well. So what's the best way to cool containers of chili, right? So the best way to do that is you can go ahead and put it on the prep table, let it cool for a little bit, and then you're going to get the temperature down, and then you're going to put it in a cooler. So reheating. Now, if you're reheating and holding for a later date, reheat to 165 within 2 hours. Fried foods or prepackaged foods must be reheated to 135. And never reheat food in holding equipment. This will not heat food fast enough to get out of the danger zone. So then these are foodborne illness testimonies. So this is people giving explanations about foodborne illnesses. And a lot of this happens because the food is not handled properly or stored properly. And then that is it. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Don't forget to complete that Serve Safe Food Handlers module quiz. Bye-bye.